We know Victoria is a place where things haven't gone well. Assistant Treasurer Michael Sukkar becoming the first federal minister to make these criticisms around hotel quarantine on Sky News on Thursday, pointing the finger at the Victorian government and its handling of it. Josh Frydenberg following him on Friday and Saturday.
I think most Victorians understand that it's not just bad luck that has led to Victoria being the only state in Australia to be in this position. Clearly, the hotel quarantine catastrophe has led us to this point, and they're pretty keen to obviously get answers on that. I think naturally you ask the question is what have been the failures, what have been the local decision-making issues that have led us to this position. I'm frustrated. My heart breaks for people that I have calling my office on a daily basis, explaining to me that businesses they've spent decades building up are now probably gone.
What happened in quarantine were significant failures that cannot be repeated. We are in a state of crisis right now. The emotional toll on Victorian families, on young women who are trying to homeschool their kids and hold down a job at the same time, they're the real issues. I'll let Daniel Andrews explain what happened on quarantine. That's for him to explain. That's for him to account for. Ultimately, we're all Australians and we're all in this together. And as a Victorian, I feel so devastated about what has transpired in my state. It should have never got to this. But I'm not serving Victorians or Australians by engaging in a slanging match. My support goes to the Victorian people at this difficult time.
An emotional Josh Frydenberg there. Now, the federal government has concerns on many aspects of the Victorian government handling of this crisis, from the hotel quarantine scandal to inadequate testing and contact tracing, to even how they have implemented the stage 4 lockdown. The feds, I'm told, have had a role in 7 major changes of the Victorian lockdown in order to keep the state going through that crisis. Here's a list of them. More flexibility around keeping supermarket distribution centres open, more flexible construction site rules to allow workers to visit more than one site over the 6-week period, more flexible pharmaceutical distribution rules, more flexible childcare rules to allow people working from home in essential services to have their kids cared for, allowing federal and state parliamentary officers to be able to continue to serve the public, Australia Post given more flexibility, and more allied health services able to remain open. So even on the lockdown, Kieran, some friction's been there, but the federal government's got some changes they believe the Victorian government should have made.